What is the most ridiculous rule that you've come across? Not being able to sit down when working, like checkout peeps. It seems like people just want to make people suffer. I would suggest letting people sit is more efficient, making bosses more money. We don't get to use the same bathroom as our boss. We have to go to a different part of the building. She has a sign on our bathroom door stating that it is broken and no one can use it. But really she just wants it for herself. In my last job, one of the managers got it into their head that people waiting by the clocking out machine were skiving, so she'd physically barricade the door by the machine at the end of shift until exactly 8 p.m. People were still wrapped up at the same time. We had 20 minutes to clean up, and it didn't really take more than 10, so people just stood at their workstations for 10 minutes instead of getting their stuff from their lockers and queuing to leave. That place had a lot of pointless rules and really awful managers, but for some reason that one was the one that made a couple of people actually leave. Being physically blocked from going to their lockers at 7:59 p.m. It felt demeaning and petty. The 3-day rule regarding how much you should wait to text a woman after she gave you her number. We're not allowed to use any kind of fan at work, even though the AC is broken and it gets dangerously hot. Management says it looks unprofessional in front of customers. Employees have fainted and customers complain constantly, but they never do anything about it. It will probably take a lawsuit at this point for them to ever replace the AC. I used to work a sales job where the people in charge would just make up arbitrary rules to limit how much commission we could make. It got really frustrating. My ex-FIL had a rule that once he sat down for a meal, only his wife and grown children could get him anything he needed from the kitchen. He would not stand up. One of my bosses got upset because I bought the same food for the yard staff general laborers as I did for the office staff. He told me I should be buying cheap food for them. My company has outdoor smokehouses for meat processing. They are basically cinder block rooms you build a campfire in. A USDA inspector decided there was nothing keeping flies away from the area. We showed her that once a fire is lit, any bugs in the area dissipate. No bug wants to be near smoke. That wasn't good enough. She made us build a screen around the smokehouses. You still need to open doors in the screens to scoop out grease ash and generally just move around. So now the bugs get in, and when you light the fires they can't get out and are trapped with the food. In the middle of summer, hundreds of flies are trapped there. No motorcycles on the casino floor. Apparently, whaling is illegal in Oklahoma. My friend was in the hospital because he broke his arm. I was texting his mom with updates, and the nurse said no phones allowed inside the hospital. I moved into the waiting room, and she came out a few minutes later and yelled, "What did I say? No phones in this hospital. It's just a regular ER," and I saw multiple people using their phones in the waiting room. I ignored her. According to our mom, we couldn't sit in a certain chair or have a key to the home when growing up. If you did, it would mean you're trying to take over her house. Also, farting seriously, it was a sign that you're trying to be superior and would cause so many arguments. What was my life? Haha. When I was a kid, I wasn't allowed to watch Pokemon at my grandparents' house because my grandma thought it encourages animal abuse. I had a good laugh when I first found out the Gen V villains a decade later. The song Fish Heads by Barnes & Barnes was banned from my youngest sister's middle school, and I kinda was the one who started it. I taught the chorus to my sister, and she taught her friends, who taught their friends, and so on until it spread throughout the entire school. Then one day she came home and told me the principal was on the morning announcements and said nobody is allowed to sing the Fish Head song anymore. Apparently kids were singing it so much that it got too annoying. Not being allowed to visit the toilet while working. Company dress code: guys have to wear a collared shirt if they wear a t-shirt. They'll get a written reprimand from HR unless they also wear a jacket. No parking on the dance floor. In middle school, my entire grade got hugging banned. They never stuck with an exact reason, but I heard some of the reasons being that it was spreading sickness. Some people were in inappropriate relationships, or we were just hugging too much Elmo. IMO, my grade was doing nothing out of the ordinary. Our principal was just off her rocker and on a power trip. Pants go on metal hangers, shirts go on plastic hangers. Why even?